this second.
You don't get a right while passing through, do you?
Yeah.
Right, welcome back to part 2 of episode 73 of the Malt Travel podcast. Whilst we're sat here in November, come on, machine. We are reflecting back on our trip in July.
Oh, it's back.
When we were, in the previous part 1, we had just about left Broughty Ferry. As I mentioned, we jumped on the train for a fairly, a short journey, isn't it, down to Edinburgh, about an hour and a half, Bruce, is it? Dundee.
Yeah.
We crossed back over the wonderful River Tay. We had a very nice bacon bap on the train, which was extra nice. As you can see there, Bruce, we're passing over the famous Tay Bridge there, which again, if you haven't been, it's one of those I think you must do once in your lifetime. For those again on YouTube, the picture on the left there.
Well,
that's
the scene of Britain's worst railway disaster.
It did, yeah. And the picture on the left there are Dundee. Kind of shoreline where the station is. It's fantastic. There's the V&A. There is Captain Scott's whatever it's called ship, Explorer wasn't it? I don't know what it was called. But Dundee definitely worth a little trip around. So we arrived in Edinburgh.
We'll have to fill in the gap. We'll have to fill in the gaps, Bruce, because Michael, you keep freezing.
All right. I think it's because the previous episode is converting she's taking up my broadband space. So we arrived in Edinburgh. What time did we get in there? About 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And am I right? I think did we get out at Haymarket for some reason? We did, didn't we? We didn't go to
one of the finest Wetherspoons in the country, which would not be far either, would it?
Yeah.
Never been to one in Clonmel, but it was certainly impressive.
Yeah, because we didn't land in the Haymarket, did we? We landed in what's the station to the west of Edinburgh?
Now we've got the Haymarket instead of.
But I wouldn't say there's much in it. I wouldn't say there's much in it, actually, Bruce. If you got off, it got off at.
No, I think it's about halfway into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, what was great was it really they had really maintained that whole cinema field. It still went up the steps, didn't you? And I was talking into the main auditorium, and you know we could not put their picture into it. And succession of beige breakfast coming out, wasn't there? But the building itself was quite impressive, but quite a full array of beers we thought.
Bruce,
I do think.
How can a Wetherspoons breakfast be a different colour to any other breakfast? They're serving bacon, they're serving sausages, they're serving eggs, they're serving beans. Beans, sausage, bacon. You've ever been for a best pint of Guinness, the best breakfast ever. They're all the same colour. Pink sausages, pink bacon, orange beans, golden hash browns.
Now, gentlemen, come on.
Tell you, man.
Come on.
But yeah, we had to say, we did feel it overall. I mean, there's no doubt you got some Wetherspoons this country, and some are excellent out there. But you got the impression that there's some quality control issues up there in Scotland. I mean, I couldn't ever imagine going to a Wetherspoons this country and them serving beer like that pub in Jollyswell in Broughty Ferry. I mean, it was truly dreadful. And again, it was the poor choice of beers. This one, the Cayley Pitch House, which I think Edinburgh. I mean, it's just mobbed all year round. The places round, which have the bigger community beers. So I do think, whilst we knock them, there are occasionally some great ones out in this country. I mean, the Rochdale ones, fantastic, but they just certainly lacked in terms of the general care, the staff, the maintenance. I still maintain nobody can ever set foot into that one at the slope near Waverley Station because the staff in there and the whole place itself is horrendous. But this was certainly you've got to applaud them for taking this building and keeping it going. I mean, this place you can eat cheaply in what is a very expensive city. Edinburgh is for us an expensive city now. Yeah. So it's not to be knocked really. You have to applaud what they've done with it.
It probably looks the least like a Wetherspoons from the outside than a lot of Wetherspoons, really. I think if you walked past it, unless you knew where it was, you probably wouldn't gather that it was a Wetherspoons.
Well, if you look at that picture, it's only the black and white little board, isn't it, at the front there? that you
Right.
obviously Weatherspoons. So yeah, the Cali Picture House, which was obviously a cinema for most of its life, it actually closed as a cinema all in 2013, and then apparently it became a nightclub for quite a while. And Spoons took it over in 2008. But you've got to say they have done a fantastic restoration.
Oh yeah,
And
it
it's
was.
probably was it about 4 floors because you can see from the pictures
Yeah,
from the ground floor there was a floor below that. Then there were the old circle, wasn't there? And the little private
There was
or
a mezzanine floor. Yeah, I went all the way up
floor.
to the top and all
Yeah,
the way back down again.
yeah, yeah. So it was fairly
Huge
quiet
spot.
because it was 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. So this is at the far
Yeah.
end of Princess Street, isn't it? It's on kind of the far west end of Princess Street. Turn left, go down the slope slightly, and it's on your left hand side there. So yeah, we popped in there. The plan then was to go and try and tick off another brewery tap, having done the Fierce Beer tap in Aberdeen. So we headed up to Inns and Guns, and we were quite looking forward to this, weren't we, gents? Because we thought, oh, this would be quite nice. And we could try one of their sultanery dark beers. So the website said it would be open at 12 o'clock. So we duly set off and we walked up the hill. It's only about probably 5-10 minutes from the Cali Picture. The door was open, the lights were on. So we went. We ventured in, and then basically and then got thrown out. But he was quite polite about it. But he said, we're not open." I said, "Well, your website says you're open, and your front door's open. Oh, we're doing a beer tasting." And with that, he said, "So the bar's not open." And it was like, "Well, there's nobody else here, mate. You could serve us 3 beers. We'll probably give you
it's in the
15
window
quid.
quietly.
I'll give you
Yeah,
15 quid, sit at the front, and you can make some money." But no, he was not having it. So we turned round and bloody walked out. So I don't think I'll be rushing back to the Inns and Gun tap anytime soon.
yeah.
Because, yeah, strange, really. Anyway, so we from there we went on to better and much more.
Why are they getting? I think they're saving money. I'm sure they're cutting back on things like area managers and proper managers. And we went up in York. Said they weren't sure they could turn the heating on. No, there were no candles lit. It could look so welcoming. They said, "Oh, they're not into the candle lights, so we can't light the candles." The place was freezing. The beer was good, but then when our food came, it was freezing cold. And I do think that it's tough now with hospitality, isn't it? It's myriad of cost, but instead of just bleating about it all the time, some of these places have got to get a grip of it. They're really,
Yeah.
I mean, you do wonder what's going on, really. So yeah,
So
that
anyway,
was
with that disappointment, we walked back up past the bottom of Princess Street, and then we went kind of 2 streets back, I think, and to
Oh, hang on, Mike. You've forgotten about Bruce's beige food stop.
the Belgian potato fries shop.
they're very
And then
disappointing.
we stood
£8
20 minutes for him to make a portion of chips. Yeah.
They were,
And Bruce ended up dumping them half into a bin. I don't know what he's expecting. They were chips.
and
It
I was
took
very
20 minutes
excited.
to cook.
I've been to Belgium. I had triple cooked chips. I was really excited to see what
Beige
they were.
in colour they were. Beige, Mike. They were beige, weren't they?
I have got to say there was in Galway there's a chain called Pratty, which is Irish potato, and they're very similar. But I would say I didn't go in there, but I went to McDonald's, which we were the bloke in the pub told the best chipper in Ireland, and it was fantastic. This was a chip shop on a Friday night that they were queuing. You had to queue to get in to sit down, and
Wow.
it was really good. Anyway, back to Edinburgh. So we've walked from the Inns and Guns. We've gone past the Pat Kelly Thistle. We've walked up the bottom of Princess Gardens, and we're up into the back streets that run parallel to Princess Street. And Young Street is tucked away, and you wouldn't believe. Look at those pictures there. You wouldn't believe that you are 3 minutes from Princess Street.
Yeah, astonishing, isn't it?
Wasn't it? Princess Street was heavy. It was heaving. It was normal touristy.
Yeah.
But we got to there, and there was not anybody there. So we walked past the Cambridge bar because what we were actually going to was the Oxford bar, the very
Yeah.
novel-led, obviously the haunt of Rebus, who obviously is the Ian Rankin's detective. And this was the opposite, was it? So this is the pub where we stood outside for 10 minutes, peering through the window, till I said to Bruce, "Try the door." And he tried the door, and it was open. And the bar lady, I think they must have been bloody laughing the bloody piss off at us because there was the
Uh,
bar lady and a couple of blokes in that front bar, and they must have seen us stood outside like Bruce. You see the picture there, peering through to see, is it open? Is it open? And then so anyway, so you walk into what is a little gem, and I read that apparently this pub is one of the few Edinburgh pubs that's retained its compartmentalism. So traditionally, it was a single
yeah,
corridor, which is now opened up, and then a room on the right and a room on the left. They have opened up the corridor, so it hasn't quite got that, but you can see it was a stunning little bar, isn't it? It's kind of dipped down slightly, and you can see
oh
there
yeah,
on YouTube there were four cask beers on, all Scottish. Jarl was on there, and then so we got our beers from a very nice Scottish landlady, and then we actually then went into the right hand side room, which Bruce and Nick were a bit disappointed because it had arty farty stuff all over the walls, which
yeah.
you both moaned about quite a lot. So go on, the Oxford Bar, definitely worth going, wasn't it? It was a stunning little
Oh
bar.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's certainly very little left like this or nothing like this in Central Edinburgh left, is there really? It was quite astonishing. Felt could be a little section of back town, like you say. And I would imagine, again, one that we say it so often, don't we? On a dark night, I suspect it's candlelit and love and light, another life, all of its own, but yeah, if you've got it on, it's so central. Definitely worth checking it out. It was
There's,
excellent, wasn't it?
there's also another bar that's just a couple of streets further away from Princess Street called Kay's Bar that I've read about. That is supposed to be one that you need to find, and it's distinctive because it's bright red outside and bright red inside. Like the bar and the ceiling are all painted in bright red, post office red. It's called Kay's Bar, not Kay as in a lady's name, but I think it was the surname of the original. I think it was a wine manufacturer and wine importer. And as I say, they've turned his little warehouse into a bar now. So if you're heading to the Oxford Bar, then as I say, about 5 minutes away, you need to search out Kay's Bar.
And actually, I think Saturday afternoon was a great place to visit this bar, wasn't it? Because it wasn't particularly busy. There's probably only about 4 or 5 other people in there. Because I think this place will get rammed on an evening. And if you had more than 30
Oh,
people, it would be full, wouldn't it? I mean,
yeah.
and I know it's a. I think when the rugby's in town, it's a big pub, and I know there's a lot of people go there because of the ranking books and Rebus. But yeah, it was quite nice. It had that quite nice, just laid back, chilled feel, didn't it, on a
It
Saturday
did, it did. Yeah.
lunchtime. Yeah, and the beer was very, very good. Couldn't really fault the beer. I think we had one of each in the end, looking at our pints there. But
Yeah.
definitely worth. And I say, even if you just want to get away from the hustle and bustle of Edinburgh, just walk 2 streets back, and you'll find these lovely little streets, cobbled as you can see there, and again stunning little buildings. It was very, very nice. We then set off for our final beers because again, conscious that we had to get back down to the Toon. So this quite handily is that there are two absolutely stunning um, bars. I guess they are. They're not really pubs, are they? Next door to
Yeah.
each other. I think this is West Register Street, isn't it? So if you head across, say, Andrew Square, which you can't really
Yeah.
miss because it's what's the posh department store on Andrew Square? What's the one? Harvey Nicks is on there, isn't it?
Yeah. Isn't it?
And lots of very posh restaurants and things. And if you head to the far corner, again, a little bit tucked away, you probably know where it is. There is, first of all, the Cafe Royal Bar and Oyster Bar, and then next door there is the Guildford Arms. And if you're into pub interiors, these are two pubs that you must tick off, haven't they? Because they're both absolutely stunning. So we went into the Cafe Royal, which again, do you know what? It's a great place, isn't it? Because on reflection, we were three
Yeah.
scruffy buggers from Yorkshire who were coming
Yeah.
in, and there were lots of posh, very posh people in there that were having oysters or whatever. But equally,
Yeah.
we were made very welcome. The
Yeah.
staff are all in kind of tails and whites and things, aren't they? But not a problem. And they had fantastic beers on. It's the same offer
Yeah.
either side of the bar. People were very polite. They'd move away to let you order your drinks, and then they'd sit back because its space is a bit of a thing in here, isn't it? So there's lots of stools all the way around the bar. But
Yeah.
again, the pictures that I've got there don't really give it justice, do they? Because it's just an absolutely stunning place to drink beer. Slightly
And if
surreal.
you're stumbling back to the pub where the oyster bar is, that again is absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very ornate ceilings, interesting bar, lots of potted plants and things all over the place. I think there was probably some plinky plonky music playing, I'm sure, in the background, and a general hum of people just enjoying themselves and drinking everything from, spritzers to bottles of champagne to pints of Guinness to just 3 or 4 really good beers. I think we actually had Murray beer in, didn't we, Bruce? We managed to track down
That's right, yes.
Murray beer, which we had on in here as well. Yeah. So yeah, Nick, I know Nick, you always trying to call in here when you're in Edinburgh, don't you?
Yeah, it's handy for the station as well.
Yeah.
It's if you get to Balmoral Hotel, you just cross over the road to the Balmoral Hotel and you just go around just off Princes Street. And Jackie likes it in there as well. I like the lobster wallpaper when you go downstairs to the toilets.
And as you can see there is a very nice thing. Oh, I think we did some recording in here. So hopefully let's have a listen to what it was. Okay, so it's Saturday. We're in the slightly hushed surroundings of the Cafe Royal Bar, just up from Waverley in the Royal City of Edinburgh. We arrived in Edinburgh this morning about 10 o'clock-ish, having caught the train down from Dundee. So we've already had a couple of drinks in quite contrasting pubs. So we started off in the Cali Picture House, one of probably Edinburgh's biggest bars, which is the Wetherspoons. We then went to a pub that was open but wasn't open, which was the Inns and Guns tap room. But unfortunately, despite saying on their website that they're open at 11, we were informed as we walked in there that they weren't open. So we then walked down a quick stop to Bruce to spend some money on some frites, Belgian frites made with Scottish potatoes. We know that because there were sacks of the potatoes stacked up in the front of it. Anyway, we then went off. We snuck into the Oxford bar, obviously of Inspector Remus fame. And yes, very nice. We just spent some time stood outside thinking it wasn't open till I pushed the door open and it was. They open at 12 on a Saturday. Very quaint little bar and some excellent beers. And we've just walked down now to the cafe bar, which is pretty full. People shucking oysters and lots of quite different clientele around. We've managed to get a table as well. And again, I'm currently drinking a Broughton Murray Pale Ale. Nick, what are you on?
This is something to do with Dave on Your Bike. I've not quite managed to have a look on the pub clip, but it's a Scottish beer, so I've taken some pictures, so hopefully we'll put those on the YouTube when this goes live. And Bruce is on his Coca-Cola.
Because he'll have a drink at 1:30.
Yeah.
Although we'll be on a train then going to...
a little cheeky one.
So I'm not quite sure what he's going to drink.
Yeah. But no, very, very civilised in here. It is Saturday lunchtime, so we knew it was going to be busy. But fortunately, we've managed to get a seat.
So the plan is now, we're probably going to finish this off. We'll wander down to the station. We're going to try and jump on a train about 1:30 going south of the border. And the plan is that we will jump off in the Toon at Newcastle upon Tyne and try and get 2 or 3 pubs in there before we head back on our final leg back down to York. We might have a see whether we can jump out of Durham or not, but I'm probably have to see how far we are. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, so we'll see what we can do. So we'll hopefully catch you up later on in the trip. That worked pretty well, actually. That was recorded actually in the Cafe Royal, which was good because it was very busy. So luckily we managed to get a table to ourselves. And again, we didn't have a drink in here, but just on the way back, I did just snuck into the Guildford Arm, which is literally next door, isn't it? It's kind of the other end of that little street. And again, it's probably a little bit more rough and ready. Oh no, that's the wrong word, isn't it? It's a little bit more pubby, I guess, but stunning, absolutely stunning interior. In some extent, even more so than the Cafe Royal. Look at that ceiling if you're on YouTube, and that fantastic little kind of whatever it is, orchestra balcony or whatever it is. So
Minstrel's Gallery.
Yeah, and very, very handy. This is even closer to Waverley and the train station. And again, as Nick said, almost across the road from the Balmoral Hotel, which is a bit of a landmark on Princes Street. So definitely, if you're going to Edinburgh, and certainly if you're going by train, then these are 2 must pubs. Both do a fantastic array of beers. They also have lots of really fantastic whiskies. As you mentioned last time, Bruce said, always look out for that whiskey of the day, because you can often get a really good whiskey for £3, £3.50, and that's often that a lot of Scottish bars do that, don't they? Which is again is worth looking at.
No, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah. So we jumped on quite a busy train actually out of Waverley because it was kind of Saturday lunchtime now. So lots of families who were probably heading either on holiday or off to holiday. Again, I've got to say, LNER, they do fantastic food in the first class service. Those grazing boxes, I saw somebody else this week doing whatever the content or whatever, and they were saying the same. Those little grazing boxes are absolutely fantastic. Pot pies, onions, classic when you've had a couple of beers. And we headed down to Newcastle. The first as always, for me and Bruce particularly, was of course the gentleman's lavatories in Newcastle. And I've got to say, I'm really pleased. It's almost a museum now. Forget about modernising the toilets. So if you ever do go in the gentleman's toilets on platform 1 in Newcastle station, you'll be taken back 200 years to 1827. With some of the oldest toilets that are known to man. Anyway, they were actually quite clean, but there we go. Toon was a little bit quiet, really, wasn't it? Well, we thought it was. So anyway, our first target was to head towards the Free Trade Inn. Now, there's going to be a story here because if you're on YouTube, look at the wonderful blue sky. Look at the beautiful blue sky over that end of Newcastle, the kind of east end towards kind of where the river heads off to the Tyne. Beautiful sun. We managed to get a taxi outside the station to take us to the Free Trade Inn. And as we round the corner, we just saw this absolute throng of people. So you guys must have queued 20 minutes to get into the bar. And then probably another 10 minutes to actually get to the bar. And then quite rightly, I'd found us a little pitch outside on a wall. Because this place on a Saturday at 2 o'clock was absolutely rammed, wasn't it? I mean, you get a fantastic view down the river, which you can see on YouTube. You look back towards the Tyne bridges. But it's a bit out of the place. It's not like it's near anywhere else, really, is it? But there must have been, I don't know, 400, 500 people outside this pub on a Saturday afternoon.
It was insane, wasn't it? Like you say, inside they have a huge choice of real ales, well kept beers, but it was impossible for us to even take a picture of the pumps and clips because the place was absolutely rammed. I'd never been before. I was wanting to go. I had no idea it'd be like this. And they had a street food van outside in there and say you could not move. But the elephant in the room has to be the toilets. They were, without a doubt, the most disgusting toilets I've ever been to in a pub in my life. And I went to the pretty shocking ones in Gainsborough. I went to the fish shop last year. I was in Gainsborough. I thought that was the record. They were on a different level. They were covered in graffiti. And, it's not acceptable, is it? It's part of the character. I mean, if you were in there and needed a poo, I'd have to take a taxi back to town. And I couldn't bribe myself to sit on the seat. It was utterly... And, the trouble is...
God. I said I only briefly went through the pub. I think it would have been anywhere else in the world. It'd be a shithole because it was rough. It was stuff like you say, peeling off. The furniture was all battered, and all the seats were ripped. And like you say, fantastic array of beer. And apparently, it's like this all the time. It's just rammed all the time. So it was certainly worth ticking it off and say we've been. Whether you'd go back again.
I'm very.
Yeah.
I don't know if I will or not. I mean, the thing is that it's fun to have a character.
Okay, so anyway, we ticked off. We've been to the Free Trade Inn. We can say we've been. I think the beer was okay, although it was in plastic glasses, wasn't it? If I remember rightly, because obviously we're all outside. They were all going to start throwing them at each other. But there we go. We then had a very pleasant walk back, I would say, down the Tyne. There's obviously a very nice walkway back towards centre of town. And we walked in, and in fact, we then saw that virtually all the pubs on the way were absolutely rammed. That one, whatever it is it Piano and Picture or something, or Slug and Letty's that's actually on the quayside? That's absolutely rammed. People standing on tables, and that was going off. They were all drinking bloody jugs of woo woo or whatever they're drinking. Well, that was rocking. The pub as you come up off the under the bridge, as you come up, what's that big pub there? That was absolutely rammed, wasn't it, as well? But we were heading to Crown Passada, and just as we got to the Crown Passada, the sky went particularly dark. Maybe it's because Bruce couldn't have a poo in it went very, very dark. And I think Nick, we just managed. I think we'd lost for some reason. We'd lost Bruce at that point, hadn't we? So we managed to get ourselves in the Crown. The heavens opened.
Started Passadering it down.
Again, we walked in the Crown Passada to see Brass Castle beer. from our very own Malton on the bar, which I don't think we sampled. Again, there was some interesting beers. There had Disco King on there, which is often a really nice one. I'd say there's certainly a Brass Castle Best there. There's is that a Roosters one there as well? Again, this place was pretty full. It doesn't take many people to make this place full, though, does it? And everybody was kind of getting out of the rain. Again, very friendly, though. People moved up. We got a table. We let a couple of other guys come and sit with us. Bruce finally caught up with us. It's dark. It's dingy. It's full of Geordies. There's some good ale in there. I know, Bruce, you regularly like to pop in here. And it was great. It was fun.
Yeah, we do.
Again, I can't remember if I've been here before. I'm sure I have, but I don't remember it. But definitely worth finding.
Yeah, very much Newcastle institution. I have to say, the only thing I do find, they have a bigger version to sort of the blonde beers, which I tend to like. The beers always tend to be quite dark, quite heavy, quite strong.
Like the
really.
beige-coloured beers,
you never. I know, yeah, they never like the. They don't like those blondes and things. It's always heavy, strong.
That one on the bar looks very blonde. The one that I had on the bar looks very blonde to me. But anyway, there we go.
So, as I said, it's quite nice.
Agey even.
So we had planned when we got back to the station, which again, if you're not a frequenter of Newcastle Station, it's just worth a visit. It's got one of those stunning cantilever roofs. It's got wonderful, whatever those columns are, Doric columns or whatever they are, classical columns as you walk in. And of course, it does have its own tap, which again I've never been in, which is the Centurion, which is badged as a Theakston's, but I don't think it is a Theakston's pub, is it? I think it's
it's not.
Whatever. It's got two entries.
So.
Yeah, you can walk in off the street or you can walk in off platform 1. But again, we did walk in and then we walked straight back out again because it was absolutely full of very pissed Geordies, 12 deep at the bar, getting that slightly Weatherspoons punch bowl, sticky carpet, sticky tables. So we kind of hovered there for about 5 or 6 minutes, and in the end we turned around and said, we're going to walk out. So we had a fairly short trip to the Toon. It's now about 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. So we jumped onto the southbound LNER train and we took ourselves back to York. And I think Nick, we may have managed the final one in the York tap. Goodbye to Bruce, and that was it. So that was our 450-mile beer trip up the northeast coast. So thinking back, guys, it feels a long time ago now. Well, it's 5 months, almost 4 months we were there. It was, I think, it was worth doing. I think there's some fantastic. We probably two or three fantastic pubs we visited. The train journey is, I think, one of those you've got to do it once.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I thought Bradford Ferry was great. It was the highlight of the trip. I do like that road out of Dundee with those pubs. I like the pubs on Dundee, the Phoenix and the Speedwell Bar. Although no one calls it Speedwell Bar, it's referred to as what's it called? Go for something else, don't they? A bit like the Crown Sotheby's in Malton. So don't give yourself away. Find out what you've got. But yeah, and the Broughty Ferry I thought was fantastic, really.
Yeah.
I say the fair kudos to Weatherspoons. That the renovation job of that Cayley Picture House is fantastic. So no, it's a good trip out, really, and doable over 2 days. Just isn't it, really? I mean, you could, if you wanted to be crowds, we could have stopped at Durham and gone to Colpitts or Victoria. But you are getting quite tired. It's a lot of travelling into 2 days.
Yeah, and
particularly, I think Pub of the Ship Mill was a grill bar in Aberdeen. I love the grill. You could almost smell the history and all the people there.
I think the best pint. I would say the best pint was in the grill. I think probably the Shipping and Broughty would have been probably mine. Probably pub of the day, although, like you said, the Speedwell Inn in Dundee was very good, wasn't it, as well? Nick, what was your kind of highlight of the journey?
I just think we mentioned it in the first podcast, the quality professionalism of the staff.
Yeah.
That whenever you walked into any of these bars were rammed, but the staff behind the bars actually looked as though they were not so much enjoying themselves, but they were pleased to be able to serve people. And they were being genuine, when they were trying to see to everybody. Because, I don't think you've ever worked behind a bar, Bruce, but I have, and obviously Mike's done a little bit. And sometimes, it can get on your nerves a bit when people come in and demanding and thrusting fivers at you and saying that it's their turn next and blah, 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 and then being decisive. But as I say, all the staff that we came across in the Scottish pubs were all very professional, very welcoming, very friendly. And that's what I remember. highlight about that, really.
I have got to say, I don't think we had. I think every train was pretty much on time. I don't think we had any delays. So I've got to say, touch wood, which doesn't often happen. We did use at least one other train company because we used ScotRail to get from Aberdeen back to Dundee. And whilst that was a busy train, again, it was great. It was pretty quick. The journey is very scenic, particularly when you go north of Newcastle, isn't it? Up that coast, and even before.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
yeah, because you do Northumbria after that, don't you? Northumbria and up to the borders is fantastic. You go over the Forth, you go over the Tay. Yeah, definitely worth it. Probably next time, we'll probably maybe just head to Dundee, maybe, and not go as far as Aberdeen. I
Well,
think Aberdeen, it was great
Yeah.
going. I don't know whether you want to spend whatever it was. There's probably 3 or 4 hours drinking time we could have had there, wasn't there? Because we missed quite a lot in Dundee. We know there are other pubs in Dundee to the right that we didn't
yeah,
visit. We didn't get to see Desperate Dan, for example, which we could have done. And similarly in Edinburgh, like Nick says, maybe in Edinburgh we could have picked up maybe some of those K's bar and some of the other bars in Edinburgh.
A couple more in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Or stopped off in Durham. I would have probably
Yeah.
preferred to stop off in Durham than Newcastle,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
certainly the free trade wasn't a highlight in Newcastle. There obviously cost us money by taxi as well.
Yeah.
You know, thinking that if we'd gone to Durham instead, you know, even though we'd be probably going to pubs that we've been before,
Yeah.
those pubs would have been far better than what we came
Oh
across
yeah,
in
Durham's got
Newcastle.
some
Really.
great pubs. It's
Yeah.
but like Michael said about the final of the Canberra Beer Festival, it's the final ever Lumiere in Durham next week.
Yeah,
The
right.
one of the biggest public light illumination displays, and much to the disappointment of all the traders and hotels, it's the final one. That's next week. We are going, so we will be getting the Victoria, the Culpits, and that.
Right.
But again, it's sad that all these landmarks that sort of bookmark the calendar of towns and cities, they're all going out there. Something has to help them, really, hasn't it? Yeah.
So we will have to start thinking about our journey for next summer, when hopefully we'll be all alive and kicking, and Bruce may still be working for a network franchise, a rail company, who can help us with some tickets. Obviously, I did. You know, we talked about Melton Mowbray, Grantham. I've noticed Grantham and Newark recently have come up on my radar, that seem to have quite a nice range of beers. We went to Doncaster and we were quite impressed with Doncaster. And somebody else had told me they'd been to Doncaster, and I said it was really, really good as well. So we might have to do a southern trip next time. I probably won't do a 450.
Frozen again.
But
yeah, I mean, again, if we could possibly look at doing Inverness in Perth, and maybe try and shoot across to Glasgow next year.
That's even bloody further, Bruce.
Yeah.
Plus, you weren't drinking on day 2. Make sure you're not at work following day, won't you? Otherwise, it'll be Coca-Cola and lemonade all the time.
That's true. No, yeah, no, I think Grantham's got a quite good station tap now. I see every day. And I don't know, the BI pub I heard a lot about. Retford's got one pub. Newark, I've had a night out in Newark. The Prince Rupert's the nice pub there, and I think there's one on the barge. But yeah, it was yeah, not too much going on in Newark, but I understand it's quite a nice place during the day.
Melton Mowbray's featured in this month, or this whatever it is, Camera's Beer magazine that's online only now, and that features because is it Round Circle, which is the brewery there. So again, that's definitely worth. And we always forget when the Pork Pie Festival is on, don't we? So we might have to try and see whether we can match that one.
Maybe next year. Maybe 60 next year. Maybe we should try and really make it to the Munich Oktoberfest, because I mean, I've been watching the YouTube videos.
Well, you paid
I had no
£15 for a pint of, or whatever it is.
Yeah, lager.
You pay £15 for half a beer and
glass of lager.
And half a head. Anyway,
right,
gentlemen.
The scale of it is shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
The scale of it's insane.
Yeah. I've got to say, we obviously in the band we do Umpire, we do Oktoberfest. We've had some really good gigs this year. And we've already booked for next year as well. So we go full lederhosen for a month, and we did about 5 or 6 gigs this year. A bit very beer focused. Anyway, right, gents. The weekend is nearly upon us. Have we got any plans this weekend? Any drinking? Any revelling to be done? Nick's getting weekends off this time of the year, but
I'm going to see. I'm going to see Peter Kay tomorrow night, so I'm having a couple of pints in Leeds tomorrow night. And of course, Leeds has got the Highland Laddie now, which has been voted Pub of the Year. Quite bizarre that neither Nick have heard of it. Now it's suddenly voted Britain's best pub. It seems to very much be what's gone, but I imagine it's getting near. But when you look at it, it seems to be just like the Devonshire, a proper drinkers pub in one side with really fantastic food available as well, and most importantly, open to everybody.
I don't know who's voting as an advisor. They've only had 3 reviews on TripAdvisor. So how that's only just open be voted best pub in the country? And it obviously has just opened because it has been closed for many years.
It's all about money.
Well, it has to be. How can you only have 3 reviews on TripAdvisor and be voted the best pub in the country?
Yeah, it is. Well, it does look quite, I have to say, it does look quite splendid. I was asking the Yorkshire Evening Post, but it looks fantastic. So that has to be one of our definite must-go-to places.
And I didn't know
we've got a day off.
Thornbridge have opened a new. They're opening a new one, aren't we? On the Bankers Cat, Market Cat. I can't remember it was now. Was it not in Leeds? One in Leeds already. They're opening a new bar somewhere.
Yeah, that's kind of Leeds. Yeah. I mean, they are good. I mean, I've been to the Market Cat this afternoon. Again, beer was splendid.
Yeah,
it's a lovely vibe.
Yeah.
It is, but again, they're all. But the truth of those Thornbridge pubs, they're all much. They have the same.
Yeah.
About money on them. But I do. But they have to say can't knock them out for too much time, really. But because the quality is there all the time, and some of the beers.
Future podcasts. Nicholas and I have a trip to the Northern Monk Brewery in a couple of weeks' time, so we will catch up about that one. We might end up, the 3 of us, together in a pub, possibly in York, on that same day. So if we are, we will take the recording stuff and we'll do one. We've got to catch up with Bruce's beery stagger around Italy, which we've talked about, but we haven't really had a review of yet. And I say I've just come back from Ireland, where I did 4 days down the west coast, and the beer. Well, not the beer, because they don't do any beer. Actually, I did find some beer this time round, but the pub capital, which is Dingle. I found out when I was over there, Dingle has 50 pubs for a population of 2,000. Wow. So there is literally a pub, everything. And I was sharing Bruce.
They look fantastic.
Yeah, and I found a couple of new ones that I'd not been in my previous trip. So I will try and put that together because, again, and same in Galway, I found some cracking pubs in Galway. And we definitely had the crack. The crack was very mighty. I had a great night in Matt Malloy's in Westport with the twiddly diddly music. So yeah, really good thing. So we'll catch up on that one, and then before we know it, it'll be Christmas. So we will try.
You see my new picture?
Oh, you got a new picture. It's a bit wavy at the moment. It's going in and out. Where is that?
It's the Massimo Hotel in Middlesbrough.
All right.
And it's all the Middlesbrough fans outside having a pint in the old days.
Right, the music's going to start playing because we're running out of time. So thank you, gentlemen. That's really a good reflection on our trip to Scotland. And we will be coming back to you in the near future. As always, any comments, let us know. Anywhere we should be going on a joint trip next year, please let us know. Social, media, social, whatever it's called.